Let me quote to you a sentence from Mr. Carter's National Energy Plan, and I quote, "The producers have no equitable claim to that enhanced value from deregulation because it is unrelated to their activities or economic contribution." Now, to see how radical a doctrine that is, how fundamentally subversive of our system that doctrine is, let me translate it into another context. Let me apply the same principle. The owners of homes, or for that matter of shares of stock, or of anything else you can mention, but let me just stick to the owners of homes. The owners of homes have no equitable claim to any rise in their value because it is unrelated to their activities or economic contribution. Is there anybody who would say that that was an expression of what should be the philosophy guiding America? Who is going to decide what change in value is related to activities or economic considerations? If people are going to be entitled to keep a rise in value only insofar as it flows from their own activities and contributions, then somebody has to decide. That sentence in the National Energy Plan is a sentence declaring the alleged case for a government that owns everything. If it has the right over the supposed owners to the rise in the value of oil, it has the right to the rise in the value of houses. It has the right to the rise in the value of your services. It has, indeed, complete ownership rights to you and me, as well as to our property. That's, as I say, a thoroughly subversive doctrine, and yet there is no doubt that it is the direction in which philosophical attitudes have been moving. So our present energy problem, like our present problem in many other areas, derive from the cumulative effects of the cartel, of government controls and regulations, and of this change in philosophical attitudes. What is the present status and prospects, then, for U.S. regulation? Many people have emphasized that Carter's energy plan would not achieve its stated objectives. But that's looking at the surface of things. The true and real objectives of the energy plan are not and cannot be the stated objectives. Again, I have a very difficult choice to make. James Schlesinger is an intelligent, well-trained economist. He cannot possibly believe that the plan he has proposed would produce the results he says it would. What is the real objective? As of so many other things, you have to look beneath the surface. The real objective is power and control. You have many predictions that Mr. Carter will not get his way, that there will come out of Congress an energy plan that will be very different than what he puts in. I think that's wrong. I think Mr. Carter has already gotten his way in what really counts. He has already gotten the major element of the whole program, namely a Department of Energy. A Department of Energy which has 20,000 employees and a budget of $10 billion. A budget roughly equivalent to the profits of all of the American oil companies combined. He is going to spend, what is it, $3 a barrel of oil in order to keep the price of oil from rising. But more important, you therefore have 20,000 full-time employees who have a strong interest to propagandize for and to work for the government takeover of the oil industry. And is there any doubt that that is what they will be doing? Let every other element of that program be defeated in Congress, be turned down. And it's only a question of time until they're enacted. Because what really matters is having the position of power from which to move. So I believe that those people who have been rather optimistic on the ground that Congress is not going to enact the measures Carter proposed are making an enormous mistake. that the Congress has already given Carter most of what's involved. And I may say the Department of Energy was established with a bipartisan vote of Republicans and Democrats. Unfortunately, Republican politicians are no less short-sighted than Democratic politicians when it comes to matters of this kind. The next question, and the final question, is how come? Why is it that we have moved in this direction? Why is it that we have adopted these counterproductive controls on the prices of gas and oil, that we have enacted this enormously expensive boondoggle of a Department of Energy? The answer is very straightforward. The enactment of such intervention has been and remains politically profitable. We must apply the same kind of an analysis to the political system that we apply to the economic system. If we try to interpret the way business acts, we ask what is in it for business? What direction of activity is profitable? We have to ask the same thing on the political level. That's a different market in which the people are trying to acquire votes. They're trying to acquire position and influence. And they will do what's politically profitable to do. They have gotten political hay from professing to protect the consumers of natural gas from higher heating bills. Here is the senator from my longtime state of residence, Illinois, Senator Adlai Stevenson, who has been in the forefront of those trying to hold down natural gas. I once wrote an article in which I said that was a bill he was proposing was a bill to drive industry out of the state of Illinois. That's indeed what it is. Because if you hold down natural gas prices, it's going to be first allocated to residences. Industry isn't going to get it. They're going to move down to Texas to be able to get it intrastate. But nonetheless, the lower price of oil was visible to Mr. Stevenson's constituents, the lower price of gas. The fact that they were losing their jobs in the process, that wasn't visible. So he gained votes the one way and didn't lose them the other. There is too much of a tendency to interpret votes in terms of what people believe. Human beings are amazingly adaptable. The capacity of the human being to adjust his beliefs to his interests cannot be underestimated. Again, consider the present energy bill. It's been an enormous source of political hay and contributions from both sides. Those who are opposing it contribute. Those who are in favor of it contribute. And so it's in the self-interest of Congress to argue about and debate and discuss issues of this kind in order to have something to sell to their constituents. Over and above this, you have had the general sentiment in society at large toward more and more government control. And this is only a particular manifestation of it. After all, this isn't the first industry that's being nationalized. Passenger traffic has been nationalized through Amtrak. Freight traffic is on the way to being nationalized through Conrail. It's a continuation of that same trend that the energy industry is on the way to being nationalized. What is the bottom line? What will be the effect on the price and the availability of energy? Well, obviously, the situation is not a very favorable one, but I think it's a mistake to go to the other extreme and become a purveyor of doom and gloom. You should just as you should never underestimate the ability of people to adjust their beliefs to their interests, you should also never underestimate the ability of people to get around controls that interfere with them. The price of energy will come down. We are not going to have a worldwide shortage of energy, but we're going to pay a heavy price. We shall have a lower standard of living than we could have had. We shall have a lower rate of growth than we could have had. and we shall end up stuck with another major government parasite sucking our lifeblood and making it more difficult to overcome the adverse effects of government controls on our lives. Thank you.